Namaste, 9th standard students. Today in this video, I will just discuss about the lesson All Stories Are Anansi's Questions and Answers. In the C1, read the questions given below and answer in a word, phrase or sentence. The first question is, who owned the stories in the beginning? The answer should be, Nam, the sky god, owned the stories in the beginning. Nam, the sky god, owned the stories in the beginning. Second question, who wanted to own them later? Anansi, the spider, wanted to own them in the later. Who wanted to own them later? Anansi, the spider, wanted to own it in the later stage. What was the price to be paid to own all the stories in the world? What was the price to be paid to own all the stories in the world? The answer is Umbro, the Ornist, Anani, the Python, and Osebo, the leopard, had to be given to Nam, the sky god, as the price to own all the stories of the world. I repeat, Umbro, the Ornist, Anani, the Python, and Osebo, the leopard, had to be given to Nam, the sky god, as the price to own all the stories in the world. Did Anansi agree to pay the price? Did Anansi agree to pay the price? Did Anansi agree to pay the price? Yes, Anansi agreed to pay the price asked by Nam, the sky god. Anansi, yes, Anansi agreed to pay the price asked by the Nam, the sky god. Why did Anansi pour water on himself and over the Ornest? Why did Anansi pour water on himself and on Ornest? Answer is, Anansi poured water on himself and over the Ornest because he wanted to make them believe that it was raining outside. Anansi poured water on himself and over the Ornest so that the Ornest should believe that it is raining outside. What did Anansi capture the Ornest? What did Anansi capture the Ornest in? Anansi captured the Ornest in the guard. Anansi captured the Ornest in the guard, that is pumpkin. Okay. Then seventh one. What dispute did the spider have with his wife? What dispute did the spider had with his wife? Anansi's wife felt that the python Onini was not long and strong and was shorter than the bamboo pole. I repeat, Anansi's wife felt that the python, the Anani, was not long and strong and was shorter than the bamboo pole. Anansi disagreed with this, hence they disputed on this matter. Question number 8. What suggestion did Anani give to find out the truth about his length and strength? What suggestion did Anani give to find out the truth about his length and strength? Answer should be, Anani asked Anansi to measure him against the length of the bamboo pole to find out the truth about his length. Question number 9. Why did Anansi tie Anani at the end of pole? Why did Anansi tie Anani at the end of the pole? Anansi tied Anani at the end of the pole because when Anani stretched at the one end, he was getting shorter at the other end. He tied one Anani so that he wouldn't move or he wouldn't slip. Where and why did Anansi dig a pit? Where and why Anansi dig a pit? Anansi dug a pit in the forest as he wanted to trap Osebo the leopard. Anani dug a pit in the forest as he wanted to trap Osebo the leopard. Answer. 11th. Why did Anansi bend a tall green tree over a pit? Why did Anansi bend a tall green tree over a pit? Question. Answer. Anansi bent a tall tree towards the ground over the pit in order to pull Osebo out from the pit. Anansi bent a tall tree towards the ground over the pit in order to pull the Osebo out of the pit. Why did the sky god offer Anansi all the stories? Why did the sky god offer Anansi all the stories? Anansi was offered all the stories by Nyam, the sky god, because he had brought Humbro, the Ornis, the Onini, the python, and Osebo, the leopard, to Nyam. A feat no warrior or chief was ever able to do so. So, no one could do this. This Osebo, Anani, and the Arnes were captured. Umbro, the Arnes were captured by none but the Anani, the spider. So, he offered the stories, the ownership of the stories to Anansi. Question number 13. Who should anyone acknowledge before telling a story? Who should anyone acknowledge before telling a story? Everyone should acknowledge Anansi before telling a story because all stories belong to Anansi. Everyone should acknowledge Anansi before telling a story because all the stories belong to Anansi. So, in C2, lengthier questions, lengthier answers. In this, answer the following questions and work in pairs. First one, describe how Anansi captured the Ornis for the sky god. Answer, Anansi first cut a gourd from a vine and made a small hole in it. He took a large calabash, filled it with water. He went to the tree where the Ornist lived. He poured some water over himself and threw some water over the Ornist so that all were dripping. He then put the calabash on his head as if to protect himself from a storm and collect out to the Ornist as to why they were staying in the rain. He asked them to stay in the dry gourd. And once all the Ornist flew into the dry gourd, Anansi plugged the hole with a ball of grass and took the gourd and gave it to the Nyam, the sky god. So, this is the answer. You have to write from the beginning how he went to home and planned, then he got a gourd, then made a hole in it, then he took calabash, went to the place of Ornis, and he sprinkled some water on himself and on the Ornis so that they can be seen as both are dripping from the water. Now, after sprinkling some water on himself and the Ornis, what he did? He said, "Why you people are dripping in the water?" They asked him, "Where shall we go?" He suggests that here there is a dry gourd, you can come into it. So he had made a hole in the pumpkin gourd. So all the Ornis went into the pumpkin gourd, and it was a dry place. So that's how when last one entered into the dry gourd, he just blocked the hole with the ball of grass and took it to the Nyam, the sky god. So this is a easy one. Next, explain how the python got trapped. Explain how the python got trapped. Anansi cut a long bamboo pole and some strong vines and walked towards Anani's house, all the while muttering that his wife was stupid and She was of the opinion that Onini was shorter and weaker, and she gave Onini less respect. There was a dispute between Anansi and his wife over this matter. Onini heard this and offered to stretch besides the pole to be measured. Anansi very cleverly tied Onini to the pole that he was slipping. He wrapped the whole vine all around Onini until the python couldn't move and took him to the Nyam, the sky god. Now, this is also very simple. Again, after he went to the Nyam, the sky god, he said two more things have to be done. Two more tasks are there still. Then what he did, he took a long bamboo, and some vines. Vines means rope type of vines. Some vines, and walked towards Anini's house. While he was there outside his house, Anini's house, he started muttering, "My wife is stupid. She says that Anini, the python, is shorter and weaker, and that's why she gives him less respect. But he is disagreeing with this. I give him more respect because I believe that Onini, the python, is stronger and longer than this pole. This is bamboo pole. So, that is why he has come with the bamboo bowl." There was a disagreement with this matter with his wife. So, hearing this, Python, the Onini, comes out and he suggests that why can't we measure? I will lay down beside this bamboo pole and you can measure whether longer or shorter. And at that time, what he asked him to stretch more, that as he was getting shorter than the bamboo. So when he was stretching in the one end, he was slipping in the other end. So what he did, Anansi, he just tied his head from the vine. Then he came down, then again he tied his tail end, and from there he just tied the whole pole with the vine and the python both together, and he made the python not to move, and took the python and the pole along with the pole to the sky god, Nyam the sky god, and offered it to him. So that's how he just captured Onini the python. What method did the spider Kwaku Anansi adopt to get the leopard as a prize demanded for the ownership of all the tales and stories of the world? So, what methods he adopted? Anansi went to the forest and dug a deep pit where the leopard used to walk. He covered the pit with small branches and leaves and put dust on it. Osebo came prowling at night and fell into the pit. Next morning, Anansi went to the pit, and after extracting a promise that he won't eat, and he started to help him out. First, he bent a tall tree towards the pit, and what he did, then he tied a rope to the tree and dropped the other end into the pit and asked Osebo to tie the rope to his tail. Anansi then cut the rope and held the tree down. The tree straightened up and pulling Osebo out of the pit and hung in the air upside down. Anansi killed him and took his body to the sky god, Nyam the sky god, and that's how he captured Osebo the leopard. So this is how he was caught, and he got all the ownership of all the stories of the world. So this is was the questions and answers of the lesson, all the stories of Anansi. I will give you in the PDF form, and you have to write it down just as reference to your questions, so that you can understand better. I am giving like this. I am just explaining you in this way so that you can understand better. Till my next video, take care and thank you.